Hey, I'm Dylan from Videography, and this is the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II. And I have no clue who this camera was made for. Just for some context, my first mirrorless camera was a ZV-E10 Mark I, so obviously the upgrade from that would be the ZV-E10 Mark II. So no brainer, I just got the ZV-E10 Mark II without doing much research. I actually didn't have any source of reliable income when I got this, so I could only afford this. Obviously, I knew it had the same sensor as the A6700 and the FX30, but I could only afford this one, which I regret not waiting and getting something like the A6700 or the FX30. Of course, on paper, this is going to produce the exact same image as those two cameras because they have the same exact sensor. So, what is the difference between this camera and the A6700 and the FX30? Well, the A6700 and FX30 not only have IBIS, but they're also weather sealed. They have native 120. This does do 120, but it didn't do it at launch and you had to get a license for it. I have the license downloaded on this one, but I would not recommend using it. 60 frames per second, and this thing overheated shooting like 15-second clips at a time. I was at an auto show and I was just getting B-roll of cars, and this thing overheated on me. It's because it's made entirely out of plastic. It also has one SD card slot, and it's only SD card, not CF Express. I can't open it right now, but it has a micro HDMI, which you need this clamp for to make sure it doesn't snap off. This camera is targeted towards vloggers and content creators, so it makes sense that you wouldn't have dual card slots, CF Express slots, full size HDMI. But the fact that it doesn't have IBIS and it's made for vloggers who are going to be hand holding this, having it outstretched point at themselves most of the time, IBIS is very important in that regard. So they're either going to have to get a lens like this that has OSS, which is not be all end all, or use the active stabilization, which crops in a ton, which is not good for vlogging. Now, the reason this camera is not weather sealed is because of that microphone module on the top. This is actually pretty cool, but again, most vloggers are not going to be using this microphone. They're going to be using a shotgun mic or even a lav mic. So that brings me to the price point of this camera. I got this camera with the kit lens, new from B&H, for $1,200. The A6700, which does everything this camera does and more, has an EVF, has IBIS, has 120, it's made of magnesium alloy, not plastic, so it doesn't overheat as much, and it's $200 more. So if you're in the market for this camera and you have $200 more, I know for some economies 200 USD is a lot more, and I might be spoiled by that fact, but the value that you're getting from an A6700 is worth more than $200. I just can't think of what Sony's idea was for this camera, because there's 3 cameras with this sensor. I've already mentioned that. This was the 3rd one to come out. So the FX30 was already out, the A6700 was already out, they both had the same sensor, and then they came out with this one, which also had the same sensor. Then the FX30 is MSRP at $1,800, $400 more than the A6700, and $600 more than this one. And is the FX30 worth $600 more than this camera? Yes. And that's what I got. That's what I'm shooting on right now. I actually got the FX30 used for around the same price as a new A6700. This one I got new, but I'm genuinely confused as to who would actually buy this camera. I didn't know what I was buying when I bought it. I saw 10-bit, 422, S-Cinetone, S-Log3, all that, and I just drooled over it, and I got it. FX30 does everything this camera does, except for burst photos. This can do burst photos, but so can the A6700. So why would you go for this over the A6700 or the FX30? Not to say this is a bad camera, and for the price, I'd say it's pretty good, but the fact that the A6700 is right there, it just doesn't make sense to buy this. So that's my rant about the ZV-E10 Mark II, because I don't know who this camera is for. If you have some sort of explanation as to who would actually buy this, let me know in the comments. But I'm going to be selling this now that I have the FX30. And also subscribe to this channel because I'm going to be uploading some more camera reviews and tests and stuff like that in the near future. But with that being said, don't buy this camera. Goodbye.